In today's training, you're going to discover how to get super lean even if you are super busy. Let's take a moment here to think about why we would want to get lean in the first place. Some of the common and popular reasons. So one of them is to look and feel better for longer. Next, having more energy for work and for our personal life. If we don't look after our body, then even simple tasks such as climbing the stairs can take it out of us. But if we are healthy and we are energized, then we're going to find simple tasks such as climbing the stairs or carrying the shopping a lot easier. Another reason is to be a great role model for your friends, your family, and also the next generation. Maybe you have young children, or like myself, you have lots of nieces and nephews and stuff, and you just want to be a great inspiration to them, because we know that children will oftentimes look up to the present generation for inspiration. If you have children, you'll probably find that they oftentimes look at what you're doing more than modeling what you're telling them to do. But if we can live by example and we can show them that what we're doing is good for us and it makes us happier and more energized, then they're very likely to follow suit. Now, here are also some things that you might want to consider when it comes to getting into shape, things that you might be moving away from by actually pursuing a healthier lifestyle. For myself, it might be things like not feeling uncomfortable in photos. Many years ago, I was not in my best shape, and whenever I was making videos for social media as part of my coaching and consulting business, I didn't feel my best, and I didn't actually enjoy posting the videos because I knew, as much as I was trying to communicate an informative message, the messenger, i.e. myself, was not necessarily presented in this best possible light. You know, if you have a really good message that you've put in a book, but the book looks all tattered and worn down, then a lot of people will judge the book by its cover, and they won't go any further and try and get the message out of it because they're already looking at the media that it's packaged in. And we have to understand that to many respects, we are part of the media that we're using to communicate the message to the market that we are speaking to. So that could be our friends, our family, other individuals. Even when we're not saying anything, we are still saying something, right? Even if we're not verbally speaking words, we are communicating through how we look, because we are human beings, we are visual creatures as well. And if people are looking at us and we are not presenting ourselves in the best possible light, then we could be potentially sending messages that are not necessarily in our best favor. And I've also heard this mentioned by other individuals that I've spoken to over the years as being an important thing. So that might be another reason that you might want to get in better shape, because with that comes a level of confidence that you are looking and feeling your best, you know, like you've maintained yourself. Next, not feeling tired by basic activities like standing up or even just going for a walk. You know, if we are not looking after our body, then very basic activities like staying on our feet could present a challenge. You know, if you're into any kind of public speaking, maybe you are up on your feet for half a day, a full day, maybe even several days in a row. And if we are overweight and we're not looking after our bodies, then all this can take its toll, and it can present other challenges like joint problems and back problems and stuff. However, if we are able to maintain a healthy weight, and that's going to be different for different people. You know, I'm not a doctor and I'm not here to tell you what your ideal weight is, but what I will say is that obviously if we are at our ideal weight, chances are we're going to feel better and everything's going to be a bit more in balance than if we are extremely overweight and we are then having the additional problems that come with that, back problems and joint problems, knees and ankle problems and all that other stuff. And so when it comes to our body, we want to consider not just how we look on the outside, but also how are we performing on the inside. So if we are looking after our body, then we are going to increase the probability that we're going to have a better maintained body over time and a better life as we age. And this moves me on to my next point, which is potentially less doctor's visits when we're older. Now, ultimately, we can't guarantee that we're not going to get ill or that there's not going to be some freak accident that's going to happen later on in life. But those are things that we may not be able to control. But in terms of being able to control the other variables, like whether or not we are constantly eating junk food and we're not hydrating enough and stuff, those things are within our control. So who am I? Maybe this is the first time you've come across one of my trainings. Now, There are plenty of trainings that I've created over the years, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of my backstory here, just so you can get a feel for who I am. So those 3 images in front of you are actually myself. Over on the left-hand side, that was me at university many years ago. And after I graduated and I got my degree, I actually settled down into a relationship and began to focus on my career. My career was involved in business as well, and having a background in sales and marketing, I went off to start consulting to various different companies, different organizations, and presenting training. So I'd be up on my feet a lot. And I also used to attend a lot of workshops as part of that as well. And what I found myself doing is that I was eating things wherever I could get my hands on. Maybe I had to catch a train somewhere and I would just stop off at the train station and grab myself a baguette or something. And needless to say, that began to take its toll on my health. There in the middle, that's myself at a business conference in London many years later, and I'd already gained weight. You can see me there, not necessarily looking my best. And I was overweight, my diet wasn't the best, and I wasn't really happy with the way I looked and felt at the time. I'm in my mid-30-ish range there, and I decided to turn myself around, working on my mindset. That led to an incredible transformation. It wasn't an overnight thing. It did take me several months to get to the point where I was in great shape. I've been able to consistently keep that up, and there you can see me over on the right at a professional fitness photo shoot that I had done. So my body shape has changed, but I've been consistently into fitness for a very long time as a result. I've also gone on to become a certified level 3 personal trainer and a level 2 circuit instructor, and I've coached clients all around the world, including company owners, freelancers, and career professionals. You know, people who are maybe into property, people who are consultants themselves, business consultants, marketing consultants, and the like, and individuals who run companies and have large teams that they need to manage. And I've helped them with their mindset and with tools and strategies to help them get in better shape. I've also written books. One book here is Think Yourself Lean, How to Fix Your Mindset Fast and Get in Your Best Shape Ever, no matter how busy you are. And that is essentially specifically focusing on the mental side of things and the mindsets that I use to help me get in shape. That image there on the book cover is myself. And then later on, I also released the Lean Body Action Planner and the Lean Body Gratitude Journal, which are complementary guides to help you on your journey, where you can actually plan your exercises on a daily basis, but also using daily gratitude practice to really retrain your brain into seeing the benefits of the actions you're taking on the short term to help you stay in the game for the long term. I have had lifelong fitness experience. It's been very on and off. I've been involved in various different martial arts over the years, starting at a young age doing taekwondo, been involved in things like boxing, mixed martial arts. But when I was not doing martial arts, when I was doing more like weightlifting type of stuff and I'd go to the gym by myself, I would oftentimes train for several months at a time and then maybe go away on a holiday, and when I'd come back, I would stop training. And that was basically my pattern. And I never really was able to compound my results. I never really get into a good, consistent habit. However, after I decided to invest in my mindset, I really started changing my perspective from the very short-term, instant fix mentality to a more of a long-term, permanent mindset. And that's really paid dividends. At the time of this recording, I'm already been consistently training for over 250 weeks. That's 250 weeks, not 250 days. So 250 weeks, almost half a decade, if my maths is correct there. And that's really, for myself at least, testament to what we can do if we make fitness a lifestyle rather than a temporary diet thing. So many people are pulled into these short-term diets. They want the 6-pack in 7 days. But honestly, the best thing that you can do is really start cultivating a philosophy of this is something you're going to do for life. And one of the things I always say to my clients whenever I'm coaching people is we don't want to front load our career and rear load health. Okay, we need to find a way to integrate health and our career together. It's not always going to be easy, but I'm going to be sharing with you some very powerful tools, techniques, and strategies throughout this training to help you really find ways to make sure that your training gets done. And then obviously alongside that, you'd want to make sure you maintain a good nutritional program. So why do most people fail? Okay, so these are maybe the symptoms that I see after working with individuals and speaking to individuals all around the world. Most people are not in their ideal shape or in their ideal health. And this obviously can lead to things like a lack of energy and increased illnesses. That can also have an impact on lowering your self-esteem and your self-belief if people are out of shape. It definitely can have an impact on self-esteem. That can also impact the opportunities that we take advantage of. Like if we are not able to look after our own bodies and we don't have that proof that we can look after our own bodies by actually physically going out and doing that, then we might hesitate to turn our minds and our focus to other things that might take a little bit of an effort consistently over time to produce. So we might end up nurturing quite a short-term mentality. However, if you can put yourself through the disciplines that it takes in order to get into your best shape, then you are more confident to be able to turn your mind to other things that may take a bit of time. For example, by being able to transform my physique, a lot of the mindsets I used to get in my best shape, I then used to actually write my book, Think Yourself Lean, which has a word count of over 50,000 words. So that was something I was able to tackle quite confidently because of the fact that I can do other things for a long period of time. So those are the symptoms in terms of most people are not in their ideal shape or in their ideal health. Now let's have a look at why most people feel that is the case. Okay, so the rationales that I hear, the reasons I hear is things like, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to exercise. Mo, you don't understand. I'm working ridiculous hours. I have young children. I have this and that going on. And your situation is different to mine. I understand. I'm not saying that your situation isn't different to mine. I'm not saying that your situation isn't harder or whatever. And we will address this in a moment. But these are the reasons, at least, that people bring out. And it makes complete sense why people would say that. And they also say things like, I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy to exercise. And it's a very fair point. I know what it's like. I also know what it's like to not have the energy myself to exercise. And despite myself having a very busy work schedule, I will still make the time to exercise. And I will also get myself to exercise despite feeling tired and not necessarily feeling like it. I will get myself to do it anyway. And I don't know how to get in shape. And again, I understand that. There are some things you need to learn over time. And I know what it's like to not necessarily know what to do. When I was younger, I didn't really necessarily know about all the things I know now. But again, whilst it's a reason, we can't allow that to become an excuse for not pursuing it. Because ultimately we can educate ourselves. If we can go online and we can go on Google or we can go on Amazon and we can pick up a book, a novel or something, or we can go on Netflix and watch a movie and entertain ourselves, then we can also buy a DVD on exercise and educate ourselves, or buy a book on exercise and nutrition and educate ourselves. Whilst those are very common reasons, we don't want to allow them to become excuses, okay? So what's the real problem? Now, like I said, those are very valid reasons. But until we dig a little bit deeper, we'll realize those aren't the real reasons. Those are the reasons we're giving ourselves. Those are the things we are allowing to get in the way. Now, as a lean body mindset specialist, it is my job to help diagnose the real problem, then offer some solutions. And I've been doing it for many years now. And like I said, living by example. So here's what I've actually found to be true. In a nutshell, we all have the same 24 hours in a day, and that's unlikely to ever change. Like, it's not like we're ever going to have 25 hours in a day, so, the universe gives us an extra hour for health and fitness. So if that's not ever going to happen, we have to decide to ourselves, well, how are we going to use our time? Maybe we're going to need to make some changes. And ultimately, if you're currently not exercising, well, then you're going to have to exercise, and that already implies that you need to make a change. Now, in order to make that happen, we need to choose how we use our time, and that's ultimately what counts, right? So for example, maybe we are spending too much time on social media, and maybe we are watching too much television, or watching too many DVDs, or just browsing the web and watching YouTube videos. I do that myself. I watch DVDs and watch YouTube videos and stuff, but I do that after I've made sure I've got my training done. Because if I need to train and that takes me 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever, I get it done. And then if I want to then go onto YouTube and spend an hour, then I can do that. But if I find that I haven't worked out and I've only got 1 hour left before I need to go to bed, then that would be a problem. So I would prioritize exercise over watching YouTube or a DVD, and I say, right, today I'm not watching a DVD. I only have limited time each day, and I've got to be selective about where I spend that. So it's really a case of priorities. We all have the same time, but it's just what are we prioritizing? And like I said, we don't want to front load our career and rear load our health. So I'm going to show you some very powerful ways that you can use to actually overcome this, if ultimately this is something you're going to commit to doing, right? Because if you don't want to do it, you're just going to find excuses, and that's fine. That's your prerogative. Everyone has freedom of choice and free will. But ultimately, there are consequences to not looking after our health and our fitness. And I want to remove those barriers, if you like, that you may have set up for yourself and that may look very real as being barriers. But with a little bit of creativity and with the strategies that I'm literally going to feed you on a platter, you're going to realize it's actually way possible to get in shape and stay in shape. It's actually going to be a lot simpler than you may believe. So what is the solution? Okay, so what I tell my coaching clients and even the individuals who read my various books is that we need to be flexible and creative in doing what it takes, okay? And really, it could be broken down into 3 different things. One is being willing to train in different environments. We also need to be willing to train at different times of the day, instead of getting ourselves rigidly locked into training only at a particular time and then saying, unless I can train at that time, I'm not going to train at all, and having this very sort of either or binary mindset that gets in a lot of people's way. By opening it up and saying, right, I'm willing to train at different times to get it done, then we have more flexibility and we make sure it gets done. You don't eat your food every single day at the same time, right? And brush your teeth. Some days you might brush your teeth at 9 in the evening, some days at 10, some days at 11, but you wouldn't say, right, I missed my 9 o'clock teeth brushing window, and then not brush your teeth, right? You just do it a little bit later. Even if you're a little bit more tired, right? We'd still get it done. And we need to prioritize our health, our exercise, and our nutrition just as much as we'd prioritize brushing our teeth. And we also need to be willing to vary the duration of our exercise. And that's actually a good thing, by the way, because you don't always have to train for an hour. You know, I actually went for several months where I was using these philosophies and training maybe for 15 minutes, maybe 30 minutes a day, and still maintaining a good physique. And I'll show you how I was able to do that throughout the rest of this training. So let's take a quick break here, and then I will see you in the next section of this training.